We remember those times when and I'm speaking of or two younger because the youngers have never been. We that have lived thus far have seen. And you do know, and you do understand that life that was there, although there was atrocities and ugly, awful things going around the world at the time, there was still love in this country and what we shared and what we grew in. It was a beautiful thing. But those people at that one time, they had to do something in order to make it that way. And so I was thinking some stuff here earlier, and that's true. It's just some times when stands need to be made because of the event that's occurring, and it's very important. It's historically important. It's that time again, Lucy. Yeah, it's that time again. Except now Muslims are actually moving in. Have moved in to this country, and they've set up forts. They call them mosques. They're temples. They're forts. Muslims have set up forts in the United States, and they're getting all around surrounded. And once there is a completion, that line that they need to make in order to proceed, once that line is made, then there's nothing they have figured that they can do that can't be done on their side, and it will be won, and there will be no more America left, and this feeling and this love. What the F is happening to you people? It's that time again when something has to arrive, and something where it has to be done, and all the people, all Christians in the world needs to rise against Islam. It's not Muslims, actually. It's Islam itself that is causing the reactions from the Muslims, because this is what's been inbred, impounded in their brains, in their minds, and their thoughts. And that's all against freedom, because as long as there's freedom in this world, Islam can't survive. And you see freedom as it grows and covers the world from the United States, because of the United States, and it surrounds this love and freedom all over the entire world. That is the most important thing that could ever happen. Do you get it now, Lucy? And this freedom is spread out to the point to where right there in Islam, that's where it's all shrunk back to. It's right there, the holding point. That's the stopping point of this love of freedom and the God's will covering the earth. And that is the navel of it. That is the source right there that needs to be destroyed. Exactly. Per mundo. It's like with the Sodom and Gomorrah. That is a Sodom and Gomorrah. Hey, I cannot hug you. Brother, I cannot hug you now, because unless later on this evening you and I sharing sex between our favorite goats, then we can hug now. And that is an address that we mean that what we're going to be getting down and doing tonight, baby, Do you want that as your neighbor? Think about it. This is really serious shit. And that fucking Obama is behind it, and he's pushed it, and he's what can make it happen over here. There's things that need to be put down and put to rest. And these Muslims, they have this inbred, this understanding and pounding in their head to kill. And that literally is freedom, because it lives with us. There's freedom in this world, but if it's in the people, then it's in their minds, and then it's spread. And it's love and it's freedom that we want to go out and cover this entire world. What is wrong with that? It's not a damn thing's wrong with that. But I can tell you there's a lot of things can be pointed out about Muslims and their behavior that is just freaking out of this world, Unless they pass some test. Islam is the butt and the problem. Sodom and Gomorrah, it needs to be butted out. I mean, like in a big freaking hurry, because that's how much this love has grown to, and what it's covered, and it's got it all shrank down to that spot. But they're getting veins. They're getting veins. Their veins are extending. They're from their life's blood in this place. It's pounding out. It's pounding out. It's pounding out those veins from Islam, pounding out through the veins to their temples that are in the United States of America at this moment, to those people. And they just had this Ramadan thing where there's no telling what kind of programming and is embedded in those people. It's in their minds being fed right now. What the heck is in there? What are they going to be doing? We're all around here just simple whatever sharing it, and see, it's time to, something's got to be done, Lucy. We need to go out and we need to empty these temples. We need to move these people the hell out of here, And these temples have to come down. You still see the forts that they made back in the pioneer days, when they just come over, chopped down a bunch of trees, stuck them up in a big line, got inside, gunpowder, lots of weapons and guns, and those, they don't have guns. Man, you're talking about some easy pickings. What's this? This is a musket rifle, man. When that powder clears, you don't know what happened, till you go over there and goddamn, right between the eyes. Well, it's just a little, I was aiming right here, but I got him right there a little bit, and, that's good enough for me. See any more of them Redskins? Well, think about it. Muslims, they have the task. They have the task of what they're trying to do, and we need to snap to it, and that they don't overcome it. And that's us, and that's the freedom in America. This shit should go viral to everyone, because it's what's most important. It's not me. It's what's being said. That's what needs to be done. It's not one person out there marching along, It's all the people out there marching along for that one purpose, that one sole purpose. And that is what needs to be done. So we can clear out America of these Muslims and their trash and their thoughts and their minds. It needs to be cleared. You talk about a place to go for clears. And I know of only one place there that you can go where you can make it and be a clear. And that is to clear your mind, because, some people have some awful ugly things embedded in there and need to come out. And they need to recognize it, and they need to understand that. And being too clear, even trying to get there, can make you more aware of things in your mind and your understanding. And see errors of ways, and then you connect and you correct, and there's nothing wrong with any of this. And this is the reason, these things that I say that need to be done. It's not because of me. It's because it's the cause that needs to be done. Can I get a high sign that anyone understands? Can I get a comment somebody understands? Because it really needs to be. If you don't understand it, go back and play it again. but share the damn thing, you know. Just see what people think. I want to know if there's a gathering that needs to be protected, that's of that discern and that understanding that life, this living, this giving, this freedom, this which gods are made from. You know, it comes from a God, and his God was the creator of all, which we are a part of, because it's the creator of all. It's just these other gods, much higher up, they intermix with, and a physical element, bonding, because of certain concerns, and that's understandable. But we all have this now because of that interbreeding with, and it's a godly mass, it's a godly thought, it's people being godly men, godly women. And you go and you think and you obey the kind of laws there would be, and there's only like 3 or 4 at the top of the 10 that anyone really needs to read. Because the bottom of there's no concern for the bottom, because if you're obeying the ones on the top, you don't even approach, you don't see, you don't believe those things. They're just not in your life. Now, they may be some wacky fool somewhere where that happens to be, but, you know, it's not our fault. It's not anyone's fault, but whatever had turned that person. But then it makes it our, like, responsibility then to help turn, if you can, that person, you know, without him killing. Because on the news, on the channels that are controlled, they put out words, they put out thoughts, they put out things there for killing. You know, when they want someone killed. And everybody that's been to college has had a word put in their mind. You've all had words put in your mind that they can set off. And wouldn't that be the real thing of freedom? Because of your understanding and in the way, the development you have in your mind and your thoughts and your feeling, it's more in depth and growth and, you know, heavenly feelings, to know that there are indeed better things, and the world could care and the world could share in all these beautiful things. And it's not because of me, it's because of those words of understanding. That's the most important. It needs to get out, folks. And just, you know, and it won't stop here, you know. Your thoughts will make it grow, you know, because you have other thoughts and deeds and needs and thinking along those beautiful lines, and you're not. It's just, and I'm not. It's just that we all are. Ah, can you understand that? And I'm going to turn this off because I don't want it to be too long. Oh, man. You know, it's just beautiful life and just beautiful things, and it just, you know, it just not like it's over and it stops, but it needs to see a reaction, you know, because it's everyone, you know, 12 o'clock noon, everyone, just stop whatever it is you're doing, and you're getting to a place where you're down on the freeways and stuff. You need just to have a pullover space and time it and get out of that freeway fluff. You know? These Muslims get up here and they block roadways in towns. You know, we have the power to block the freeways and shut them down. And that's what we'll do at 12 noon every day from here on till we start to see a change for the better. I don't see nothing wrong with that. Now that word's out. The word's gone viral. The word's been said. Do whatever you want to do with me. Doesn't matter now. Because my words have been said. And that's what really matters. I'm only the messenger. Time in a bottle. And that's what it's been reading. I'll talk some more, but this needs to go out. Sisters and brothers, we could just hear war drums, you know. We could hear war drums. They were always sounding. Take a war drum with you on this 12 noon. You can have one in your car. Let's make one up. That'd be a deal. Somebody can make a lot of money here. Just think about me when I'm old and poor and I need somebody to take care of me. You know, if I'm still around. We could have these war drums and just stop. Even in your car, because there's a war drum in your car. And you need to take it with you. If you're getting the afternoon, there's no problem. You know, I can stay at home. But if you're out traveling, you need that war drum, because when you pull over and you stop and these freeways shut down, you know, everyone's going to beat in that drum. And we'll start at 5 minutes. And the next week, if there's nothing going on, nothing changing, you know, for good, then that next week at 12 noon, we shut down, pull over, and we beat those war drums for 10 minutes. And if we're not seeing things, I mean, just to see the freeways unplugged, that's no big deal. That's nothing. That's because, you know, we're leaving, we're going back on our ways, you know. And that's the power of that. So we need to see some improvements in this world. And we need, including the improvements, is no more wars. That's all that's gone. It's going to be forgotten. Because if it's not forgotten, it always rises. It needs to be gone and forgotten. No more wars. But see, it still continues on. That's why I've got to send this in. I really want it to go viral. You know? Life's been on an edge. And I put myself mostly on that, that's for sure. But there was never anyone around at those times that really to notice those kind of things until I got a little offline. Because, you know, I'm stressing understanding the world and what it is and what it's growing to. It's just not what it's supposed to be. And we need to see these changes. And every noon, you know, if there's nothing dramatically, there'll be a word said. And we have to be careful that the word is said, because of what your intentions are at the moment that word is said. Because what if someone has this word and they used it for that purpose, but for their purposes? That wouldn't be the real intentions. That would be a mistake. So it's why we have to be very careful. Because like in the words when they put in your mind when you're in not just colleges but schools, I had a teacher, it's a Mr. Lee in Mesquite, Nevada. No, it's the 7th or maybe the 8th, it's into the 8th grade. Did he he stopped me one time and he said, or just something, I was just writing some comments. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it had to have been on that subject. They said, I expect to hear great things from you. Well, in your writings. Boy, the thought of that and the meaning of that just never really hit me till just now. Who else did he talk to? How did it make you feel? And what were those words from that magic man, Mr. Lee, that had that short, crew-cut hairdo in Mesquite, Nevada? Virgin Valley High School. They tried to change that name once, and we had a boat, and it stuck, and the name stayed, Virgin Valley High School, because there's a Virgin River that runs through that valley. Well, it's just thoughts. But I want to see this go viral. I want to see the results. It'd be like mission accomplished. Mr. Lee, and I hope and I pray that that purpose I served was the correct one. Because in me, it feels not real. No, I think of everyone on that same level. It's like, say you go visit relatives you haven't, seen them, you've seen them before, but it's been a while, but not too many years in between. Enough where you remember and you grow, and you have that feeling with cousins. It's just, good. And on the covert side, that was the best. Them coverts were good people. Sometimes there was a distress, but it doesn't make them not. They're really good people. The Taylors on my side, well, I can't really mention as much. They'd lost their father during their depression and stuff, and they had a lot of money and influence. They had to have in order for like my grandmother to even still be there. Raising 8 children, one had lost during the war. But to hold that property and have that property for all that long, and that big house, and they donated things around town and stuff. So someone, even though there was that Great Depression, they lost a lot of money, somehow she was being taken care of. Can you imagine doing that with 8 children nowadays? So that just tells you what kind of place that they were in. But it got, when the father was lost, then that's what turned, those children other things started being let in. And, you know, that's where the problems come from. And I really got to stop and send this. Anyway, it just, you know, I don't want to stop, you know, because it, you know, when I click this, send this, go to YouTube, and I'll put it back on Facebook. Maybe in that order. You know, I can do others because it just doesn't stop. Peace out, people. 12 noon. Let's stop the noise.